Hello and welcome to $3 TV. I am Vishakha Thakur.
And I'm Ruchi Sharma. We have got all the major global cryptocurrency news from the past week for you in this show. But before we start, let's cut across to Manoj Dhara for the market check.
Bitcoin continued to trade near the critical $106,000 levels, showing resilience despite escalating geopolitical uncertainty as tensions between Iran and Israel remain unresolved. And this has actually entered the second week of the conflict. Over the past 2 days, Bitcoin has consolidated, with investors' sentiment remaining mildly uplifted by the US holding off any military actions against the Iran. However, President Donald Trump is expected to decide within 2 weeks on a possible US role in the conflict, keeping markets on the edge. The broader crypto market remains flat, mirroring the US Federal Reserve decision to maintain interest rates amidst ongoing inflation concerns. Risk appetite is dampened by the macro headwinds from the Fed uncertainty to renewed tariff threats and escalating Middle East tension. That's what the analysts have said.
So thank you, Manoj. The US Senate has approved the Genius Act with an overwhelming 68-30 final vote.
Passage of this bill sets a new high watermark of crypto policy efforts in the US as the legislation now heads to the House of Representatives.
So as written, the bill would set up guardrails around the approval and supervision of US issuers of stablecoins, the dollar-based tokens, such as the ones backed by Circle, Ripple and Tether.
President Donald Trump has called on lawmakers to urgently pass the Genius Act and quickly get the legislation to his desk without any changes.
Moving on, Strategy has added 10,100 more Bitcoin to its holdings, spending around $1.05 billion at an average price of $104,080 per BTC.
This pushes their total stash to 592,100 BTC as of June 15, 2025, bought at a total cost of approximately $41.84 billion with an average entry price of $70,666 per coin.
So the firm has also achieved a solid year-to-date Bitcoin yield of 19.1% in 2025, further cementing its position as a major institutional player in the crypto market.
Moving on, Metaplant has purchased 1,112 more BTC at an average price of approximately $105,435 per Bitcoin, bringing its total holdings to 10,000 BTC. With its purchase, the company has fulfilled its target for the year 2025.
Well, in a parallel development, Metaplanet's board approved the issuance of the 18 series of zero-coupon ordinary bonds totaling $210 million, set to mature on December 12, 2025.
The proceeds from this bond issuance are earmarked exclusively for acquiring additional Bitcoin. The company plans scaling its Bitcoin treasury to 210,000 BTC by the end of 2027.
Moving on, Fold Holdings just announced that it has entered a new $250 million equity purchase facility to buy more Bitcoin for its corporate treasury.
Under the terms of the facility, the company can choose at its own discretion whether or not to issue up to $250 million worth of newly issued common stock. This means Fold is not obligated to use the full amount or any of it unless it decides to do so.
However, Fold must first file a registration statement with the US SEC, and this statement needs to be reviewed and officially approved.
Moving on, Norwegian crypto firm K33 said Wednesday it plans to raise a minimum of $8.9 billion through a share issue for its plan to purchase up to 1,000 Bitcoin for its company reserves.
So the net proceeds from the directed share issue will be used to buy Bitcoin to hold on the balance sheet.
The move follows K33's earlier announcement that it secured financing to acquire up to 57 Bitcoin in late May.
Well, K33's move follows a broader trend among Norwegian companies investing in Bitcoin. And earlier this month, Norwegian blockchain exchange announced that it would begin holding Bitcoin on its balance sheet.
Moving on, Prenetics Global Limited, a health sciences company, announced that it has purchased $20 million worth of Bitcoin as part of a newly approved corporate treasury strategy.
So the company acquired 187.42 Bitcoin at an average price of $106,712 and stated that its board has approved allocating the majority of its $117 million balance sheet to Bitcoin.
The company also plans to accept Bitcoin payments across its direct-to-consumer platforms, including IM8 Health and Circle DNA.
Moving on, The blockchain group, a Paris-listed tech firm that brands itself as Europe's first BTC treasury company, said it bought 182 Bitcoin for 17 million euros or roughly $19.6 million, bringing its total stash to 1,653 BTC, valued at nearly 149 million euros.
The purchase follows a series of convertible bond issuance totaling over 18 million euros, subscribed by UTXO Management, Moonlight Capital, Ludovic Chachin Lawrence, and asset manager Tobam.
So it also converted share warrants into nearly 3 million ordinary shares, raising another 1.6 million euros for BTC purchases. And the company said it achieved a 1,173% BTC yield so far this year.
Moving on, Lion Group Holdings Limited, a company listed on Nasdaq, has received $600 million in funding from ATW Partners to start a treasury strategy that would focus on hyperliquid.
So according to the press release, LGHL plans to use the fund to buy a large amount of HYPE and build what it hopes will become the biggest HYPE treasury in the world.
Additionally, the facility will also fund strategic holding in Solana and Sui and is working with BitGo, a leading crypto security company, to handle the storage and staking of LGHL's Sol and Sui coins.
So that's all in this episode of Weekly Wrap. This is me, Vishakha Thakur, signing off.
And this is me, Ruchi Sharma, signing off. Do like, share, and subscribe to 3 TV. And for more information and stories, log on to our website www.3 or scan the QR code. Have a great weekend.